Already did.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the John Ratte Skype show.
Is that what it is?
The Dr. Burchett show, baby. So, Mr. Ratte, you've been at it for how many months now?
I say we're going on about 6.
Really? Is that it?
Yeah, 6 months. Well, last August was when I saw you guys, and then that's when I kind of started. When I came down off that mountain in Western Washington, realized, oh God, I can't walk like most people. So, yeah, I was about 317 when that happened, down to about 280 now.
So you've lost 37 pounds? Is that the right math?
Yeah.
That's good. Good for you.
Yeah, I think, well, it took me about 3 or 4 months to get there, and, over the last couple months, it's been kind of stagnant, as you and I were kind of talking about yesterday. But yeah, hit that old pesky plateau stage.
Before we talk about that, because I do want to talk about that.
And I'm sorry we're interrupting your mealtime here, Larry. That's
I just worked out, and I need my chicken and rice, but you're making me blush.
That's fine. No,
I am not going to stop my nutritional program just to Skype with you.
No, this is fantastic. I'm glad I'm on my big monitor with this one, because that's...
What are a couple of the things? So, for you losing 37 pounds in 6 months, for you, what are like the top 2 or 3 things that were most important?
Well, the first one was changing the way I eat, and not just like the food itself, but the way I go about it. Not being, lazy about when it comes to mealtime. Sometimes like you'll go for like escape, release valves. Like, okay, I'll just go do the quick and easy thing. It's too much of a hassle to think through and just.
I do that.
Go to the store. Yeah, it's
for sure.
Yeah, and a lot of people can do that, but if you're prone to the habitual nature of, if you do it once, you're going to do it the next 30 times in a row, it can start to build up without you even noticing. From, in terms of, all right, I'm going to get takeout tonight, and then, might as well, then you end up getting it like 2-3 times a day, just because you don't have anything else around to...
It's a habit.
Yeah.
So instead of that, what did you do?
I focused on actually grabbing stuff that I can prepare at home. I like to minimize the amount of time it takes, from shelf to mouth. Trying to cut that out and go for like, the very quick and easy way. But I make sure that it's something that I'm preparing and I know what it is. And so I started to attack the other front of, eliminating processed food from the bench.
Yeah.
From the cupboard itself, because that was another thing.
So, okay, it sounds like one thing is you ate out less, or you did Uber Eats less, and you actually started making and preparing your own food and cooking it.
Yeah, owning it myself.
Mm-hmm. And then you said you cut out processed foods. What kind of processed foods were you eating before?
Well, honestly, we're talking about the takeout stuff, and then a lot of times it's the refined sugars. So I cut out all breads and all sugar, all grain kind of things from the diet. The hard stuff. It is hard to make that change because you get really. And so I just decided to, at the beginning of this year, like right after, the big binge fest that was Christmas, and I kind of had budgeted. I'm like, all right, I'm going to put on another 5 to 10. I'm going to backslide. And I did. But when I got home, I was like, no, I want to go as long as I can eating nothing but plants and animals. Just like the actual building block foods.
Plants and animals, squirrels, whatever's around your house.
Half-eaten squirrels leading up to my doorway. That's what it is.
We've got a video, and we're going to show you how to prepare an excellent squirrel dish a little bit later.
Gopher paws and a light cream sauce.
No, we talked about this before, and I liked how you didn't freak out. You mentally prepared to put on a couple pounds at Christmas, and then you accounted for it, and it said, I'm going to get back on the wagon. This is part of my plan. I'm going to go home and enjoy Christmas and put on a little weight, and then I'm going to get back at it. And I like kind of the almost mental chess match you're playing with yourself, where you're making sure that you're keeping an eye on your motivation. You don't want to get too down and depressed. Certain bumps in the road are going to happen, and you count for them, you keep going. That's superior.
Yeah, because not accounting for it can kind of compound the damage. At least it would in my previous attempts at this, where all of a sudden you fall off the wagon and go on like a food bender, and then you feel so down about it, and you have such a mental, you're trying to punish yourself for doing that you end up punishing yourself back into, putting on another 10, 15 pounds and just hating yourself for it.
It's not effective. It's counterproductive.
Yeah. And so it's, one of the goals isn't to, enjoy your life less, it's to enjoy it more. And so sometimes, you're going to do things that are counteractive to weight loss. But as long as you're not doing that every day and the fundamental changes are still taking hold, let it go.
Yeah.
Chalk it up. Fun.
Seeing the big picture. Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, one word that comes to mind is resilience. Sticking with it, getting back on after you fall off.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. Okay, so where are you at now?
I'm about 280. I think it was like 282 this morning, but in that ballpark.
So you've recovered from Christmas. This is a month and a half afterwards.
Yeah, and so January 1st, when I flew back from my travels, I weighed myself and I was back up to like 297, and then by the end of January I was down to 280. So it was a pretty drastic fluctuation post, and then the 6 weeks after the holidays. But so I'm back down to around the lowest I've been in quite a while. I'm actually wearing a shirt that I haven't been able to fit into in about 4 years. So
no kidding. Good for
nice.
You. How does that feel?
Oh, it's good. Yeah, paid top dollar for this thing. Glad I can actually wear it. I had to dust it off before I put it on.
Do we need to wash that shirt?
Larry, we need to wash a lot of things around here. I don't know if you can see the background, but yeah. I'm in my office right now, which is like the halfway point of the show Hoarders.
There's all kinds of television opportunities for you, Mr. Ratte. How does
These aren't ones.
But not how does the shirt feel, but
no, it's great. It's these are things that I kind of slated of like, all right, I'm going to try this on in a few weeks to see if I'm closer to fitting into these things. Because these are like little benchmarks that I have like in my closet of little nuggets I can kind of uncover. Like I'm playing a video game, like I'm unlocking a level or something, where you can just say, all right, I'm okay. I've made this much progress. Kind of like the progress photos. I think I texted you at one point that I was making. I'm taking photos of myself in the same T-shirt, which is still 2 sizes too small for me right now. But when I took it in the beginning, it was it was a mess. It was like a walrus in a bikini shoot. It was horrible. But I look at it now, and you can actually start getting perspective on what I have done so far. So yes, I'm still 280. I'm still very far from my goal, but I'm also very far from the starting line too. And so those are two perspectives I'm trying to keep.
I like that you're using a clear reference point of this same shirt, because if you just went down in sizes in the same shirt, it wouldn't be as dramatic. You're measuring yourself against something, and you can tell. And you should feel good about it, like fitting in the old clothes. We need to. I think most people kind of rush past one accomplishment and want to go on to the next one, and I get that, but I think it's important, like you're doing, to take a moment and really enjoy the victory and the success. It's hard work. You've really accomplished something. Be there in that moment, and it's a bit of a reward. Don't forget the part of the new habit setting in is positively reinforcing them enough, kind of internally in yourself, so that they stick. And however you do that, rewarding that, like
Yeah,
feeling good in that shirt.
Yeah, I call it like goal maintenance, where I'm like trying to maintain my perspective on what I'm doing. Because if you don't like actually, I mean, if you're doing it every day, then you can also just kind of exhaust yourself. But every month or so, just kind of take a look, and and even then, you're still going to kind of hit a period right now where I'm like, okay, I'm still the needle stopped moving for a while. So that's when things like this are like, but you're still at a good spot so far. That kind of helps you keep from giving up if you can still maintain that perspective of, all right, you're slowing down, but you're not, you're not like backsliding all the way back to the starting point.
Yep.
So.
Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. It sounds like you're feeling like you've plateaued. So you got down to 280 for the last 2 or 3 weeks, maybe? Kind of after Christmas, back down.
Yeah, it was like from after Christmas until, and I can pinpoint it to Inauguration Day, because that's when I started drinking again.
This is an external factor that may be affecting your health and weight.
Yeah, external stresses. There was a party at our friend's house that I went to, and then I was like, okay, kind of had one rough night, and then a week later I went to Los Angeles, and my parents were there, so I drank more, and then I had to just kind of recover from those two little, again, couple of toe stubbing events. I think I put on like another 5. Took me another couple of weeks to lose that. So it's that just kind of like the way a rock bounces when it goes down a hill. Like I just like I'll kind of gain 5, then try to lose 7. And I'm in that zone where I'm like, I'm trying to punch through this little barrier of, okay, get on the other side of 280. Just keep going. So yeah, it gets tough, but it's not like discouraging tough.
Okay, you're still feeling good about it, motivated.
Yeah, still committed.
Now, when was the last time that you weighed 280? You said it's been maybe 4 years.
Yeah, probably since I moved into this house. So that was about 4 years ago.
How long has it been since you've broken through that, maybe to 260 or 250?
So I think since my freshman year of college, the lowest I got to is probably around 240, and that was right after I graduated. So I think when I graduated college and I moved back to New Orleans, I think I was around like 280, and then within the first 6 months, I just had this high octane job where I was just running around all the time, and I dropped about 40 to 50 pounds. So I was in and I never had a scale, so I don't know what the numbers were.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the last time I was there. And then after Katrina, I moved out to Seattle, and then the beer drinking really started. So that's when it just kind of took off. And it's a cyclical thing. Like I would put on a few, catch myself like, oh, I'm going to start getting into shape, and then summer hits, nope, and then I just keep going, and you end up gaining ground very cyclically when you do that. And so it would be a 15 down, 45 on. Mm-hmm. And then, you wake up one day and it's close to 320, and you're like, holy hell, how did that happen? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's like the Great Gatsby. F. Scott Fitzgerald. It was like, how did you lose your fortune? Gradually, then suddenly. That's how it goes.
Good literature reference. I remember that book from high school. So let's talk a little bit about the plateau, because I think I see a lot of people who will have initial success losing weight, usually about 10 or 20%. So 20, 30 pounds, 40 pounds. And then they kind of hit a wall like you're hitting, where you can go up and down a little bit, but it's like you have to break through the wall. There's this idea out there, and I don't know if you've read much about it. We talked a little bit about it before, called set point theory. And I sent you the link just a second ago of this book. So the book is called Break Through Your Set Point. It's written by George Blackburn. He is a Harvard MD and really kind of brilliant guy in the realm of nutrition and weight loss and all this stuff. And he says people tend to have this set point where your weight will has uh, this point, this kind of number that it'll fluctuate up and down. So maybe for you it's 300, 310. Once you dip below that a certain amount, your body will fight to keep you back at that number. Slow your metabolism down, like we talked about before. The idea being your body wants to hang on to energy and and energy in terms of fat at all costs. And so what you see is that somebody will, lose weight and then they'll hit their set point. They'll go past their set point and then they'll kind of hit this wall for a while. They'll plateau. And then after months, 3, sometimes 6 months, their set point was up here. It'll drop down again. Their body will get used to living at 280 or 270, and then it'll be ready to lose more weight. And so what we see a lot is exactly, and I've had other people too, same thing. Weight kind of comes off relatively easy. It does take work, but then you hit this wall, and a lot of people at that time do one of two things. They either quit because it feels good to lose weight, you're successful, and then it's like, what am I doing? This isn't, and then it's just like, and then you kind of revert. That can cause stress, make you feel bad, and you revert to kind of, medicating with food, feeling better. Or the other thing is, they go crazy. They get extreme. They dial up the exercise. They go crazy on the diet in a way that's unsustainable, and then they quit that later, and they end up falling off. And so the key is, and I want to get your thoughts on this now, because I think you're getting close to being in the middle of this plateau, this set point, is the key is just writing it out. And maintaining where you're at is victory. Like I want to talk a little bit about the mentality of that, like reassuring you that, like, if you stick at 280 for 2 or 3 months, perfect. Be patient, give it some time. What you'll see, and you don't have to change a ton, is that it'll start to do that. Again, it may take months. Never a bad idea to continue to improve your diet, add in exercise, etc. But just maintaining is usually the way to get through this set point. So what do you think about all that?
Yeah, that sounds perfectly reasonable. It kind of sounds like it would explain a lot of things about, why you hit plateaus, what to do about them. And it's also one of those things that I try not to think about it or think about it like a problem I need to solve. Like it's the victory is, okay, I'm still in control of this. I'm still doing what I should be doing. So if the weight's not coming off as fast as it's shutting out the noise is, I think, the hardest part about breaking through a plateau like that. Mm-hmm. So the noise being, if you're weighing yourself every day and you're tracking it every day, you're constantly hammering yourself with discouraging information. If you're at the plateau, you think whatever you're doing isn't working and nothing's going to work. No matter what I try, I can't lose weight. Yeah. And that's something that can just get hammered into your head. And that, I think, is the real fatality of the plateau stage. And so, I would agree with this Blackburn guy in terms of, if you can hang on and just kind of sustain, just try to get it out of your head as much as possible. If you're hitting a plateau, weigh yourself less often, track it less often, focus on keeping the habits going. Yeah. Like all I'm doing right now is making sure that I'm sticking as close as possible to the habits that I've been building and letting the rest of it just kind of work itself out. That's that's my answer to all of it, but that's just my one approach right now is I can only control so many things at once. I'm just going to control what I can control and let the rest of it go.
And we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
It may be a few months go by, and maybe we need to change some things or add some other things or exercise or whatever. My bet, though, is that this set point thing is going to kick in a little bit, and your body will just be more ready to kind of let go of it.
Yeah.
But But
Yeah,
you know,
I'm also chalking a lot of, like, in terms of my personal situation right now, I think a lot of it has been the last 3-4 weeks. I've been a little more lax than usual in terms of, the diet. I've had, a few more cheat days, slip days, whatever you want to call them, than I would have liked.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to refocus on eliminating those, cutting those back, and just seeing what comes of that. That's it. So I'm not in, like, even an alarmed state at this. Like, it's not a problem at the moment. Would I like to be, another 10, 15 pounds down? Sure. But, them's the breaks. I made my choices.
No, I think you're doing great. I think you're right on track. I think you're in a good,
I will say I am, the one thing that I had always, it had been like in the back of my head is, and I've always been kind of afraid of it, or, so I would not want to start a workout routine because I'm like, I can never sustain it. I can never keep it up.
Yeah.
And so slowly integrating that in has been a challenge, but it's also, kind of been fun. I'm like 7 days straight now. Is that your?
Sorry. Oops. Sorry.
You got to take that?
Sorry. Carry on. Excuse me.
No, that's okay. See, we can roll with it. No,
So I was going to ask you. You were talking about exercise.
Yeah.
Let me push pause for 1 second, and I'll be right back. I'm going to push pause.
Okay.